and welcome to New York City. My name is Cody Jensen. This is my wife, Sarah. We are YouTubers here in the city, and typically we have a full vlogging rig going, and we have a Canon 60 Mark II, Rode mic on top, GorillaPod, whole 9 yards, carrying that thing around. But today we wanted to do something a little bit different, and we wanted to do a full vlog only using the iPhone XS. We got the iPhone XS. It's what we're filming with right now. I have a Moment 18mm lens on it, but with no microphone, because the iPhone XS has stereo audio now. So I wanted to not use an outboard microphone so you could actually hear the stereo audio. If I'm over here, you should be able to hear more so in that ear, and if Sarah's talking over there,
hello, hello, hello.
you should be hearing her more over there. Don't know if that actually works well or not. Have never tested it, so that was the first test right there. But I wanted to do this for two reasons. One is I wanted to actually do a test of the iPhone XS so that you guys could see what the video looks like. And then we're going to be taking photos around the city as well, so you can see what the pictures look like.
Yeah.
The second reason is that a lot of people ask us, and a lot of people ask vloggers all the time, hey, I want to get started in vlogging, I want to start making videos, but I don't know what equipment to use. Can I just use my phone? The answer to that is yes, and I'm going to use this video to prove that you can make a great video just using your phone, because when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of what makes a good video, it really has nothing to do with the equipment and everything to do with the story that you're telling.
Yeah.
So we're going to show the technical capabilities of the phone using just the phone and Moment lenses. But other equipment that I would recommend is to actually use a GorillaPod or something so you're not holding the phone in your hand. It'll make the footage more stable. I don't have one of those, so we're gonna run over to Best Buy real quick, buy a little grip to put on top of my GorillaPod, and then we're gonna head over to Starbucks and get breakfast.
Yes.
All right, we got the clamp thing, and I'm now holding my phone in my Joby. This just allows it to be a little more steady, and my hand isn't like up here like this, so I can hold it out a little bit further. My biggest fear with filming with the phone with no microphone is how loud New York City is. So I have no idea what this is sounding like. Hopefully you can hear me, but with the loud buses and everything else going on, this is gonna be a full test, so we'll see. But we're walking up on Starbucks now. So we've got our drinks, sitting here enjoying our morning. But I wanted to show you the reason that I use the Moment lens. It's an 18mm wide lens. It looks awesome for just vlogging, like taking photos and vlogging yourself, but I mostly use it because when we're vlogging together, it's harder to get two people into the frame at arm's length. So let me show you. I'm gonna take it off real quick and show you what it looks like. So this is just the iPhone lens without this on. And so you can see it's a little more cropped in, harder to get us both in the frame at the same time. But if I put it back on, that's what it looks like.
You don't have to worry so much.
You don't have to worry so much about getting yourself in the frame. So now we're gonna walk over to Washington Square Park, because we're right near there, and get some pretty B-roll shots and take some photos. All right, we are here at Washington Square Park, and I want to do some photos here to show the new kind of camera capabilities of the XS, because with the XS, not only do they have the new like selective aperture feature where you take the photo in portrait mode and you can go from like 1.4 aperture all the way up to 16 aperture. If you don't know what that means, the lower the number, the blurrier the background. The higher the number, the less blurry the background. So in this video right now, you'll see that the arch behind me is actually pretty in focus. This is one of the major difference between like when we film with our Canon 60 Mark II is that the lens we have on that is an f4 lens. So the background's gonna be nice and kind of blurred, look more cinematic. That's gonna be one of the biggest differences between vlogging on your phone and vlogging with a big camera. Your phone is gonna have a lot higher aperture number. So most things are gonna be in focus in the background, which that in itself kind of gives itself away as a phone video.
Yeah.
But with the photos, because of portrait mode, you can actually fake the DSLR look. And besides this new like selective aperture feature, the other feature that is new with the 10S is the high dynamic range, or the dynamic HDR. And what HDR is high dynamic range. Dynamic range is simply what you're able to see in one photo from the darkest of darks to the brightest of brights. Instead of just the sky being all white, in the shadows you can see some details, or the shadows being all black, in the sky you can see some details. High dynamic range allows you to be able to see details in both the dark shadows and the bright sky without looking like an HDR photo.
Yeah.
That is the big difference, because we've been able to do that for a long time, but you can clearly look at the photo and say, ah, that's HDR, that's an amateur photographer, that looks like crap.
Yeah.
Some people like the HDR look, those people are wrong. So we're gonna take some photos, see in this harsh light, because it is noon.
Yeah.
It is bright light out here, so we're gonna be able to test this new dynamic range. We're gonna be test the new selective aperture feature. So yeah, let's go take some photos. So the test for this photo is that the sun is back here, so Sarah is completely backlit, and yet you can still see the details in her black shirt and in her face, and still see details in the clouds. So that's what we're looking for with the dynamic range. One of the hard parts with taking portrait mode photos is you're using the longer lens on the iPhone. So you have to have a good distance between you to get a good photo, but then they want you to be within 8 feet to actually get the depth. So it's a fine balance of getting the shot you want and still being able to use portrait mode. Now we're gonna walk over to Bowery, because a brand new hotel opened over there that has a really cool place to sit and a cool wall to take photos on. But while we're on our way, I wanna show you this photo is taken with the default aperture setting at 4.5. And this is what it looks like if you change the aperture setting to the lowest possible at 1.4. And this is what it looks like if you take it to the highest aperture setting at f16. So you can see that in that photo, it really doesn't look that great if you go all the way to 1.4. Sometimes it will be better to actually raise the aperture a little bit, maybe even leave it at the default 4.5 for it to have the most natural looking blur in the background. Don't get overzealous with your
blur.
with your blurring.
Too much blur is not always a good thing.
Yeah. I don't think I got her face on camera, but that was the paparazzi taking photos of Jamila Jamil? Something like that. A model, a British actress, appeared on The Good Place. Never know in New York. So this is the Citizen M Hotel. It's new, it just opened on Bowery. This was the wall that we were talking about. They were gonna take photos in front of, but now they're doing construction right in front of it. It's not really gonna be able to do photos in front of that wall, but we'll do some photos around here. But I wanted to show you the rig that we're using. So this Joby GorillaPod with the Joby mount, moment lens up here. So that gives you an idea of what the rig looks like that we're using. All right, but one thing that we have not tested out yet is the selfie camera is supposed to be much improved and it has the selfie portrait mode now. So I'm gonna let Sarah take the camera, take some selfies, and show you those. This is how ridiculous you have to look to take a good photo of yourself. If you do decide to vlog with your phone, you definitely want to pick up some sort of power brick charger because we've been filming for like 3 or so hours and the battery is now at 10%. But in conclusion of the actual camera, I would say that you absolutely can vlog with the iPhone.
Yeah.
You obviously are going to have, like I mentioned, the background isn't going to be as blurry. The sound may not be as good, but the beauty is that you can actually add a microphone to the iPhone. So instead of worrying about, well, I only have a phone, I only have a GoPro, I only have XYZ camera, it doesn't matter. The best camera is the one that's with you. Focus on your craft, not on the equipment.
Yeah.
So instead of worrying about getting that upgrade, worry about making a better video with what you have. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're not. We make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on this channel. We also do a podcast called Deeply Curious. That you can find by going to deeplycurious.fm, or again, everything's linked in the description.
Yeah.
Just go peruse down there, click on some stuff, find all the things that you want, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.